Hi, and welcome to the course. I am Corrine Williams, aka Karina Dean, and I will be your host for this course. This course is made for any person who is in a spiritual healing practice. If you find that your practice is in a place of healing and transforming and changing other people's lives, this course was made to help bring you through a step by step process from practicing to gaining high paying clients. And we're going to do this through learning social media marketing and using a marketing strategy and be able to enjoy life and help others enjoy their lives through transformation. So, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a music artist, an astrologer, and an entrepreneur. And I actually started off my astrology business from scratch as just an idea. I stumbled through trying to hustle and figure out all kinds of strategies to get my business off and on its feet. And so everything that I'm sharing with you in this course is actually all of the things that I wish I knew when I first started out. In every business, you will have to put yourself in a box. And if you are a creative person and really like to stand out and be unique, this may be a little challenging for you. This could also be challenging if you're not really sure what you offer, like if it's not clear to you about where you fit in when it comes to the labels in spiritual healing. But it is important to have the vocabulary to speak to your fellow audience and potential clients about what you are and what you do. People need to put you in a box so that they can feel comfortable in knowing an idea of what it is that you do. So, putting yourself under a label or what we're going to call a niche is allowing you to be able to have a two-sided conversation with your potential clients about who you are and where you fit in when it comes to spiritual healing. Give yourself an overview, an overall niche that you fit into. If you're a tarot reader, then you're a tarot reader. What is the main thing that you do first? Then you can actually narrow it down. So let's say that you do astrology, but you also maybe have a background in psychology and you actually do a lot of psychological application to your astrology. So maybe you do psychology astrology. Or another example would be if you are a psychic and you do past life readings, you could say you're a past life reading psychic. If you do yoga and you do astrology, maybe you could say that you are a yoga astrologer. And then you want to take another step and start to think about where in your label are you really, really good? Like, what is it that you really, really focus on? For example, when I started off with astrology, I focused mainly on Saturn return. And in astrology, you could have a full width of topics that you actually cover. But narrowing in on Saturn was my way to open the door, to introduce people, and to show something that I specialize in. So, what is it that you specialize in your category? This might be something that takes time, and if you need a process in taking it, here are some ways in which you can roadmap your way to finding your niche. You want to ask yourself, what are the things that you're passionate about your category? Also, look at your own healing journey. What is it about your healing service that you first used when you started off on your journey? I have created for you also, in order to narrow down your niche, a PDF document that will ask you some questions and take you through a process in which you can figure out what it is that you specialize in. And your assignment will be to fill that out and to finally make an agreement and a decision and a choice on what is your category and what is your specialization. When I first started out as an astrologer, I came up with the phrase Astro Geeks and utilized Astro Geeks TV, still use it in a lot of my like branding and when I'm writing out different posts online. I also came up with cycle breakers because I stood for breaking cycles that weren't, effective in the family. And so cycle breakers became something that I was constantly putting out there and people were knowing me by. And I even had an interview with a fellow astrologer where he asked me about that movement. So it became like a little mini movement for myself. So for you, you may start to naturally come up with your own lingo and vocabulary that defines your swag and your style and what it is that you do. But what if you aren't like coming up with that vocabulary and lingo like just off the bat naturally? You can create it, and at least you have something that is created, and then you can add on more lingo as you go. The more that you create this language that is your own, the more that you create like a mini culture around you and the work that you do. And it's really cool. Often with marketing, you are handling two kinds of situations. You're handling a cold situation and a warm situation. Cold is when somebody doesn't know who you are and you are presenting yourself to them, and you have to go through a certain amount of steps and process in order to create a trust and a bond and a memory within this person. A warm situation is when this person, this client, is now familiar with you. When you're approaching them and pitching services to them, they're already aware of your delivery, of your style. They already get an idea of what you are and where you fit into their life. That is a warm situation. The ultimate goal is to have people familiar with you before you even present or launch anything to your clients because they aren't in the space of trusting you with that very process. So, the keys with spiritual healing is establishing presence and trust. The process of branding is not just about having the right kind of colors and the logo, but the process of branding is the feeling and the memory that people have of you and the aesthetic and the essence that you bring that they remember you by. I want to share with you the concept of channeling spirit. This is something that you can do. You can channel what is the message of that day through your spiritual wisdom or through the niche that you provide. So, whether it's tarot or Reiki or astrology, you can channel the daily message of the day. This really targets the crowd that you're looking for, which are people who are interested in a spiritual awakening or who are going through one themselves or who have gone through one, right? So it highly targets the people that you want to follow you. So channeling spirit is one way to create an engaging post, and it doesn't require anything except your wisdom, your daily message, and sharing it with the world. Now, there are going to be days that you have been put under a lot of pressure yourself because as a spiritual healer and an influencer, you are still human and you are going to go through something that pulls you out of your element, that shakes you up, that puts you out of your character. You're going to go through life experiences. And what I want to say is that a lot of the times people will say that these are the days that they need to take a break from social media. But what I would like to share with you are that these are some of the most powerful days as a spiritual influencer. And if you are able to, and I understand that certain circumstances and situations may really need you to be isolated and to take a break from social media. But if you are capable of doing it, you can experience a major spiritual manifestation of a divine business. People will want to follow you because you are going to be setting yourself apart from anyone else who goes through a difficult time and does one of the following. They shut down all of their social media and they erase themselves for a certain period of time. Or they don't shut themselves off of social media and they just start spewing negativity and hatred, and they'll share all of the gory details of the drama that's in their lives, right? And these are, I'm not going to sit here and judge anyone, so these aren't the wrong ways to do this. But when you're a spiritual influencer and you're here to inspire people and you're here to grow your business, this can be a time where you strategically channel spirit through your own life experience and show people how to find the light in your own personal time of darkness. And you may be really going through the trenches at this time, so you may not even have found the light yet. As a spiritual person and as a spiritual business, you have the tools to get there. You have the tools to get yourself to the light. So this is one of the best times to share and educate on your platform, because it's in real time. You are actively in your feelings, and so now you can utilize your niche, whether it's astrology, Reiki, tarot, psychic abilities, any of that has been mentioned and anything that hasn't been mentioned that is your spiritual niche. You can use your niche and show it in real time on how to use these spiritual practices to heal oneself. Now, some of the posts can be, this is what I'm doing to heal myself because I'm really going through it. Another post could be an education post. So let's say, for example, you're a tarot reader and you are going through a breakup. You can create a post and share on your platform how you can use the tarot cards and lay a spread out when dealing with a breakup, right? So you can educate people on how to use tarot cards for themselves. The other thing that you could do using the same example is create a breakup spread for everybody and give them a chance to share with you as they're going through their breakup and you're going through yours, a time of sharing the spiritual tools and practices. So this is so powerful because this creates an energetic force field of connection. And I know that I can say these words because this is not just any kind of influencer course, and this is not just any kind of business course. This is about spirituality. And I know that when I use words like manifestation and force field, that you understand what I'm saying. So you are creating a force field of connection between you and your clients. They don't just see you as a salesperson, but when they encounter you, they are remembering that you were there in a vulnerable time and they got to witness the power of what you do. And they will also encounter you and have the feeling and memory that through their difficult time, you had the tools to use for them to overcome. The qualifying assessment conversation that you need to understand is that your clients need to know what it is like to work with you. This is how you're sharing your aesthetic and your tone and your style. They need to know if they feel comfortable working with you. Are you somebody that they can trust? Not only that, the qualifying assessment conversation makes them even more warmer to you. Now they're very familiar to you. And if they don't buy now, they really have even more of a potential to buy very soon. During the conversation, there's a little bit of a formula that I want to present to you, but one of the things I want you to consider is to make sure that you ask them 1 to 2 questions and not at the same time. One question, and then you want to say something like, tell me more, and then maybe ask another